Chuck, the math isn't mathing, and I don't like where we are. I don't like where we're at. Falcons are 2-2. The whole season's in front of them. Still 13 games left. But according to one of the betting markets, the Falcons have only a 33% chance to make the playoffs. Partially because they've already 0-2 in the division. So one of your entry ramps into the playoffs is going to be harder to get on. The Tampa Bay Bucks just won in Seattle because they win every close game they ever play because Baker's the greatest quarterback of all time now. They're 4-1. The Bucks have the head-to-head win in the one matchup against the Falcons. They're also 2-1 early in the NFC if you care about such things.
3-0 on the road already.
Yeah.
They play 5. They only have to play 8 of them.
If the Falcons have any hopes of winning the NFC South, they 100% now have to win at Tampa. They have to sweep the other 3 division games, meaning you don't F around with the Saints, and you get the Carolina game at home, and that still might not be enough, because guess what Tampa might do against the Saints and against Carolina? You need them to slip up in one of those games. You want some good news? I'm gonna try to find you good news. Tampa does have a rough patch coming up in their schedule over the next 5 or 6 weeks, although they've proven that doesn't matter. Tampa will host San Francisco. Then they're at Detroit. They're at New Orleans, so that's kind of a reprieve. Then they host a pretty spunky Patriots team. Then it's back-to-back road games at Buffalo and at the Rams. This next 5 or 6 weeks, you must make a move. If you have any kind of idea about winning the NFC South, you have to make your move while they're playing Detroit, the Niners, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Rams, and you have to beat them in Tampa. If you haven't made up ground by then, it's probably going to be too late, and you're playing in what's called the wild card division, which is all muddled up with a bunch of teams that are going to look a lot like you.
Oh, that'll be like the beginning of November. Will be that 4th column in the mix.
I love the in the mix.
We're always and everybody's in the mix.
Right, we are in the mix. Did you see Tampa's final 6 weeks? Y'all ready for this? The Bucs finished their season with crummy Arizona at home, awful New Orleans at home, the game against the Falcons, at crummy Carolina, at awful Miami, and against Carolina again. You better make it up now, or else you're not going to make it up.
That 33% you're talking is a reflection of, can the Falcons win the division, because there's no confidence that they could make it as a wild card. And so I would bet you, if you looked at the betting number, the updated live betting number for Tampa to win the division, and then the Falcons would be the second number, and it would kind of reflect the fact that there's about a 33% chance for them to win the division. I know it says postseason, right?
It says playoffs.
Okay, that sub in, make the division. Win the division.
Can I make you feel better about the wild card division? The Falcons already have tiebreakers over Minnesota and Washington. That's a big deal. That could be a very big deal when we're down the stretch and these teams are all kind of, grouped together with 8 wins and 9 wins if you're kind of in that mix. And the Falcons still have games that are going to matter when you think about things like tiebreakers. Rams on the Monday night here. The Packers, who are already in the lead in the NFC North, pay attention to what they're going to do. But the Falcons are now going to need to win a game or two that you, quote, said they're not supposed to win. That's Buffalo Monday night. It's not an impossible task. You're a 4.5-point dog at home. But the Falcons will play a tough stretch themselves coming up. They'll play Buffalo Monday night. They have a stretch where they're at the 49ers, home with the Dolphins. At New England looks a lot more difficult, and all of a sudden the game against the Colts, who score 40 points a game, you'll play them in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just the quarterback. Jonathan Taylor is O.J. Simpson in his prime.
Yeah, he's healthy.
So the Falcons will then have some ops. They'll have some opportunities with home games against Carolina, at crummy New Orleans, at awful Jets, at bad Arizona, and against the Saints again. You'll have to sweep, or at least win 4 of those 5. You don't have any margin for error, which sounds odd so early in the season, because the Falcons still have games with Seattle, as I said, the Rams, and then Tampa again. I can't believe I'm saying it's an uphill battle this early. Monday night all of a sudden feels a lot bigger because you didn't win the Tampa game and you took Carolina for granted.
It's true in the NFL every year. We saw it last year, 6-3, and had beaten Tampa twice, and you still finished behind them in the division. So, yeah, salting away dubs early, and how easy it is to kind of get behind your own 8 ball there. Oh, gosh, look what we did to ourselves. The Falcons have already done that.
Yep.